It works! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's Friday Night is Organ Music Night, complete with lots of things, including downstairs Vanessa, who's in the chat this evening helping us out. Isn't that amazing? So we've been doing some technical goodies this week, ladies and gentlemen. I have a little device to the left of me here at the organ. It's a Stream Deck. I bought it a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to set it up to do various things, and it's working. So without having to touch the big ATEM device, I can do things like this and put my feet, switch them on and off. I can do this, that's me again, and then I can do this, that's the overhead camera. I can do all of those things. What can I do? I can swap between various camera angles, and I can do a couple of things. It's a little limited because it's only the baby Stream Deck. It's only got 15 keys, but hey, it means I've got everything here at hand and I'm not having to look at this enormous device here. I've got it beside me tonight, but in the future it will be packed away somewhere so that I will not be surrounded by millions of cables. Exciting stuff. So we're trying out some new technology tonight, so if something goes wrong, it won't be our fault, it'll be the technology, but so far, so good. Fingers crossed. So as we say, Vanessa is downstairs in the chat. Good evening to Mrs. Gartshore. She hasn't been with us in the chat for a long time. And let's see how long she's going to be there with us tonight. I hope everything will be fine. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating 100 years of Walt Disney Corporation. Disney's been around, yes, believe it or not, for 100 years. At least the company name has. And this week, apparently, earlier the week, they celebrated the 100th birthday over in America land somewhere. And I thought we would put together a little concert of some Disney music tonight. Now, we're not only doing Disney music tonight. For example, we have a birthday. Someone's saying overlays. Can I do overlays? Yes, I can do overlays, but not yet. Joe Humans, pin the banner. Ha! Check that out. Boom! There it is, the banner. See, I can do that. And, oh, I can do this. Check this out. New wording, ladies and gentlemen. New wording, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting. Now, I still need some other devices for this. I decided to get the baby Stream Deck, the 15-key Stream Deck, for the beginning, just so we can see, just to make sure it works. That's the important thing. Why can't I pin my own message? Vanessa? Kannst du meine Nachricht pinnen, bitte? Samantha Hart has written Venetia. Who's Venetia? That sounds something kind of cool. Why can't I do that? Why can't I pin my own message? Why can't I do that? That's weird. Hold on. Let me do something here and see if I can change that. There we go. Where is my message? There it is. Oh, no, it isn't. Where's my message? It's not even there anymore. Blaming the technology. There's always technology to be blamed. Where is my message? My message didn't come through. That's why I can't pin it. Right. Let's do that again. Paste. In you go. Ah, there it is. And now I can pin it. There it is. Perfect. Wonderful. Ha! There we are. Good. Right, that worked. Click. Off it trots. And let's get it back here. That looks good. Live message, live chat. Wonderful. Okay, that's good. We've got some of the bits and pieces working and back again. Right, let me close that down because I don't need that. Let me close that down because I don't need that. This is yeah. I'm saying we've got wonderful technology, but I still don't know how to use it. So there we are. Anyway, right, Disney, as I said, and tonight we have a birthday tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is Disney celebrating 100 years. Oh, Cassie, thank you very much indeed, very kind indeed. Cassie has a private donation to the other PayPal account, but let's not do that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the iPad Kid 1000. Are you there, iPad Kid 1000? Is the iPad Kid 1000 there? If you are, say hello, tell us you're there. And tell us you're there because the iPad Kid 1000 wrote to me and said, it's his great uncle Liam's birthday today. Let me see, do we have an age? Could you help me? Wish my grand uncle Liam Murphy a happy birthday. Well, Uncle Liam, happy birthday. From all of us here in the Gartshore Gang. He lives in London. And the iPad Kid is over in Ireland, so he can't be there in person, the iPad Kid. I wonder how old Uncle Liam is tonight. How old is Uncle Liam? Do we get to know how old Uncle Liam is tonight? I don't know. So let's, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, the iPad Kid is there. All right, iPad Kid, how old's Uncle Liam tonight? And we will sing. we will sing happy birthday to Uncle Liam. Everybody, get ready to sing happy birthday to Uncle Liam. Happy birthday, Uncle Liam. We hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was loud enough. This evening's organ is the magnificent beast over in Billerbeck, which is a town up north in Germany. And it's a wonderful sounding instrument, isn't it? Yes. Perfectly suited to the music of Walt Disney. Now, it's not only, someone else got it in the chat earlier on, I spotted it, it's someone else's birthday today. And the legendary inventor of jazz, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jelly Roll Morton. It would have been his... Nobody knows how many birthdays it would have been for him, for the simple reason he lied about his age for his entire life. He claimed to have been born in, well, first of all, it was 1902, then it was 1904, then it was 1910, then it was 1912, then it was 1980. He got younger and younger and younger as he went on. He was probably actually born in 1899, but we will never know because we weren't there. Anyway, and the wonderful Jelly Roll Morton, this has got nothing to do with Disney, but because I love the music of Jelly Roll Morton, we're going to have to play something by him, and we're going to play my favorite Jelly Roll Morton piece, which is The Wolverines, or Wolverine Blues. I love this piece. I play it all the time, but it's great fun. It sounds wonderful on an organ. So we're going to play Happy Birthday to Jelly Roll Morton as well. A man who a very long time ago claimed to have invented jazz. That's the kind of guy he was. Ha! The Wolverines, otherwise known as the Wolverine Blues. Piece of music from the I'm guessing the 1920s, from a Jelly Roll Morton. Crazy stuff indeed. Sounds good fun on an organ like this. It is great fun to play, as you may have noticed. Right, ladies and gentlemen, back to the wonderful world of Disney. Now, I have a list, believe it or not, a program, an actual list of music from the world of Uncle Disney. And it all started a very, very, very long time ago with a little mouse. I don't know, did you spot the mouse, by the way, on my foots? There you are. Did you spot? Oh no, I can't do it like that. I have to do it like that. Ha! See, I didn't set up a button for that. See that? There's a little Mickey Mouse on my socks. Did you spot that? Isn't that cool? And there's one on these socks as well too. It's my Mickey Mouse socks. They come out a couple of times a year when we have Disney concerts. I need to set something up so I can do that, don't I? Well, theoretically, I could have done it. I could have pressed that button and then that button. Ha! That would have done it, but then that would have meant I didn't have that. Oh no, I do have. Okay, good. I've just worked something out. I can do more than I thought I could. Very clever. Back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the 20s, to the wonderful world of Mr. What's his name? Mr. Disney, and one of his first characters ever. He wasn't called Mickey Mouse at the beginning. He was actually called something else. Does anybody know what else he was called right at the beginning? And one of the very first Disney cartoons of them all was this. This was the music that went with it. If you recognize it, then please put it in the chat. Let us know in the chat what you think it is. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Back to the 1920s. See what you think if you recognize this. What's happened here? That's better. I pressed the button wrong and now it's all the... Now the colours have gone all the wrong way. There we are. There you are. Did anyone get that? Let's have a quick look at the old chat. Steamboat Willie says Murph Dog. Wonderful. Karen Owen. Steamboat Bill. Jez. Steamboat Willie. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, says John Wes. Well, you're not far from it. Mortimer Mouse. Mortimer Mouse was, yes, that was what he was called before he became Mickey Mouse. And Steamboat Willie, Random Opera Girl, got it right as well. Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. You're all very talented. Adrian Morris, that's definitely taking the Mickey. Yes, probably. Ha, 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 ha. Well done, everybody. The song is called Steamboat, oh, we got that, Steamboat Bill, Steamboat Willie, Mortimer Mouse at room 360 as well. Good. Yeah, now I think actually Turkey in the Straw, there you are, Larry got the actual music there. I think the character was originally called Mortimer Mouse and the film was called Steamboat Willie. And a lot of people get both of those mixed up. But I think we're right. The Gartshore Gang's always right. We're always right, aren't we? Aren't we clever? Well done, folks. Ah, there we are. There we go. Whew. Right, now, what's going on here? I see some tickets in the this is so good. I've got everything on one screen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have some tickets here this evening. We've had a ticket from Stefan. Thank you very much, Stefan. Alexander. Thank you, Alexander. Who's this? And oh, that's actually Bill from yesterday. Not Steamboat Willie, another Willie. Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. This is Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Who's this? This is, who's this? Christina. Thank you very much, Christina. Very kind indeed. That's a name we don't recognize so far. Cameron Platts, Uncle Cam. Thank you very much indeed, Cam. And who's this? Charles Crockett. Thank you very much, Charles. Charles is also the benefactor, well, the donator of some wonderful socks. I've worn them a couple of times now. Socks from Prince Edward Island, Canadian socks with mooses. What's the plural of moose? And that's not a Scottish moose, you know, the moose with the antlers. What's this? What's the title of a moose? I'm guessing it's mooses. I'm not terribly sure, but we should find out. Throughout the history of music, Disney was a pioneer when it came to putting music in his films, in his animations. And in a number of cases, the music was equally as, if not more important than, the action itself. If it wasn't for the music, some of these films would never have been very well known. Now, this piece of music, and again, back to the chat, if you know what film this was from, I'm sure you all know what film this was from. This was the music that actually became the Disney theme tune around the world. It's a wonderful piece of music. Extra points if you can tell me who sang it in the original film. When you wish upon a star. Right, who got it right? Everyone sing Jerry Martin. I don't think Jerry sang that. At least I don't think so. Pinocchio is the right film. Well done, Mike King. Who's a mile? When you wish upon a star from Pinocchio. When you wish a star from Julian. Pinocchio, Mike King again. Jiminy Cricket from Bambi. Right, Jiminy Cricket. Bambi? I don't think so. Swedish Chef. No, that's something different now. Jiminy Cricket, yes. Well, that was definitely Pinocchio, folks. Well, well done, everybody. And who sung it? Cliff Edwards. There you are. Jez was playing it today in his stylized fashion. What is your stylized fashion? Wonderful. Great. Well done, everybody. You got it right. Hello, Jerry. Jerry's arrived as well. Jerry, by the way, was instrumental and helpful in getting me this little stream decky thing here set up today. And it's working a treat so far. I just have to ignore this thing here. That's the point, you see. That has to sod off into a corner of the room where it takes up less room. A ticket has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Humans. Joe Humans has just bought a ticket. Joe Humans, thank you very much indeed. Gosh, very kind of you. Joe has just bought a Joe special ticket. Yes. I shall have to tell Vanessa. Hold on, microphone off. No, she's disappeared. Is she still chatting? Oh, she's not chatting anymore, you see. Ah, she's probably looking after the little one. All right, so it looks like we're on our own, ladies and gentlemen. We're on our own. So anyway, right, these are the early days of the music of the Disney empire. And of course, Disney continues up until today. Hands up if you have a Disney Plus subscription to your name. Do we have Disney Plus? I don't know. We don't have a television, you see. Vanessa and I we don't possess a television. This is the funny thing. We always say we have each other. We don't need a television. And it's true. And we have each other, and we have a little baby, and we have a very old doggy. So we don't need each other. We don't need a television. I'll take that back. Of course we need each other. We have each other. That was a very naughty thing to say, wasn't it? And we don't have a television. We don't need a television. But we do have an iPad. So we watch programs on iPads. And that tends to be things like Netflix, or we do have Disney Plus, don't we? Yes, I think we do. I think it was on offer. I think Deutsche Telekom had it on offer, I think. Something crazy like that. Anyway, there we are. Right, anyway, modern Disney music. Modern Disney music. Now, throughout history, the Disney music was written by various people hiding in the background. Okay? They became very famous later on. The Sherman Brothers, for example. They were the first sort of real famous Disney composers, I would say. The ones before that, well, were fairly well known, but not that well known. The Shermans, they won Oscars for their music. We'll get to that later. And but later on, the Disneys went and they found some really famous people to write their music, including Mr. Tim Rice and Sir Elton John. And yeah, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about The Lion King. 1994, can you believe it? That's almost 30 years old now, The Lion King. Oh, it's almost 30 years old. Can you believe that? When I see 1994 written there, I think, oh, that's 9 years ago. But no, it's not. It's 29 years ago. Crazy, isn't it, folks? We're getting old. We're getting old. Who's the oldest person in the audience tonight? Who's the oldest person in the chat? And thereby, a follow-up question to that, who's the youngest person in the chat? Who's the oldest person in the chat? Who's the youngest person in the chat? Let's find out. Over to you. The circle of life, ladies and gentlemen, from the youngest to the oldest, from life to death and back again, resurrection and all that. Don't press that button, press this button. Get it in my head, Fraser. Everything's on the left now, the sinister side. I'm left-handed. Does that mean I'm a sinister person? I hope not. Circle of life, Elton John, Tim Rice. I have an anecdote about Elton John coming in a minute. I know you would never have a cha-cha-cha at the end of the circle of life normally, but it sort of, it leads to it, doesn't it? I think it leads to it. You've got this. I think that's very important, isn't it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to practice our cha-cha-cha. And we need to practice this for a very, very important event coming up very soon. Our good friend, Mr. Jeremiah Martin, Dr. Jeremiah Martin, is going to be performing once again an amazing, or as part of the program of a concert over in Portsmouth, Ohio, at the church, one of the churches there in town. Every year on Halloween, or around Halloween, they do a concert called Pipe Screams. Get it? Get it? Pipe Screams, Pipe Dreams, Pipe Screams. Good play on words there, I suppose. And they've been doing it for years, excuse me, and it's live streamed to the wonderful world of YouTube. And Jerry is playing a wonderful piece of tuned music. I'm not going to tell you what it is. A wonderful tune, a wonderful piece of music. That's what I was trying to say. And it's got the most amazing bit in it. And the entire audience has to do a cha-cha-cha, snap. Okay, snap the fingers. So Jerry plays something like this. Cha-cha-cha, boom. Okay, and the entire audience has to do that. And if Jerry is at the console and the camera is on him, he will, of course, do that. He will smile at the camera, cha-cha-cha, boom, and snap his fingers with a big grin on his face into the camera. Jerry, you're going to do that, aren't you? Say yes. Ooh, look, Vanessa's back, everybody. Vanessa's back. Right, excuse me, it's very warm up here tonight for some reason. It's very cold outside. I suspect we have the heating on and it's really going crazy. What's this? More tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, from the very Jerry we just spoke of. Thank you very much, Uncle Jerry. Who dis? James, thank you very much as well. James, very kind. And who dis? And our friend Dominic. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, Dominic, for today. Ticket für heute. Dominic is from Germany. Thank you very much indeed. Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Very kind of you. Good. Right, there we are. That was Elton John and Tim Rice with the Circle of Life. Elton John, anecdote, I promised you, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. I was one of, if not the final pianist for a jazz band here in Germany. And this was an old British band, basically, but all of the guys, all these old Brits, they all lived in Germany. Let's face it, if you're going to play old classic jazz music, you might as well be over here, because this was in the olden days where the money was. Sadly, I arrived at Germany too late, but never mind, that's a different story. Anyway, and one of the most famous bands was Rod Mason and his Hot Five. Rod Mason being a wonderful cornet player, not trumpet, cornet player, and Rod used to be the trumpeter for Acker Bilk, or cornetist for Acker Bilk. He played with Kenny Ball, he did recordings with Chris Barber, he played with Humphrey Lyttelton. I mean, he did all the classic jazz circuits. Rod was one of the top names on the old cornetophone. And back in the 1970s, Rod was starting out with another band, and they were auditioning musicians from all around the place. And they were auditioning musicians from all kinds of different places around the country, and they wanted clarinetists, they wanted a trombonist, they wanted a bass player or a tuba player or a sousaphone player, they wanted a banjo player, and they wanted a piano player. And one day, a young gentleman came to audition on the piano. His name was Reg Dwight. And he auditioned for the Rod Mason band, or whoever it was in those days. I don't think Rod was the band leader, but anyway. And they discussed it, and they didn't like this guy's playing. And they sat him down and said, "You're a very good piano player, but you ain't no jazzer. You should try your hand at something else." Reg Dwight is, of course, the real name for Mr. Elton John, Sir Elton John. So maybe because Rod says no, Elton decided to stop playing jazz piano and went off to start playing rock piano. Who knows? That may have been that. So who may have been Rod's first ever piano player was Elton John, and who was his last piano player was me. So there's a bizarre connection between the two of us. That's weird. But anyway, there you are. Good fun. Nonetheless, I love all these little anecdotes. There's plenty of them, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we're thinking of starting a podcast very soon. So that's coming to a channel near you very soon. Right, so we've had some old music from the Disney camp. We've had some newer music from the Disney camp. Let's have some jazzy music from the Disney camp. And I think what we'll do, we'll start with, where's my wonderful list? Where's it gone? There it is. We will start with this. Now, talking of Rod Mason, actually, this links us into this one rather beautifully. Yes, there is a theme running through tonight's concert. You won't believe it, but there is. When we played in the band, we used to tour around Europe with the band, Rod Mason and his Hot Five, and we would regularly have people coming in and sort of sitting in with us, or guest artists from around the place. And we had all sorts of guests over the year. We had Hauptwerk on a regular basis. We had Kenny Ball once or twice. My mum remembers that very well. She came to visit, and Kenny Ball was worse for wear, shall we say. My mum and dad were there, sorry, but anyway. And they always say, never meet your heroes. Well, my mum actually ended up nursing Kenny Ball that night because he fell on his face. Anyway, never mind. That was a fun night. Who else did we have? We had all sorts of famous musicians. But one of the musicians that came and played with us the most often, and we loved having him there, was a trombonist he was originally from New York, but he lived in New Orleans and moved to the Netherlands, a guy called Steve Yoakum. Steve was wonderful. He had the perfect voice to sing jazz. He was a wonderful trombone player. He was a fun guy, brilliant on stage, wonderful presence. And sadly, Steve is no longer with us. But Steve took part in that wonderful televised event called The Voice. Remember that, The Voice? Which was all around the world, apparently. But there was a version of it in the Netherlands called The Voice Senior. And Steve took part in this, and he did all of his jazzy pieces. And he got through to the final, but sadly didn't win. And, well, it's a shame anyway, but Steve is sadly no longer with us at all. But when he was doing The Voice, the Netherlands, Voice Senior Netherlands, this is one of the songs he sang. And it was so perfect because this was just Steve to a T. You got a friend in me, which is a wonderful piece of music from Randy Newman. Hello, Randy. Oh, there's a second page. I didn't know there was a second page. Oh, I'll do it again then. There's a second page, ladies and gentlemen, with the real middle bit that I was making up. Whoops. Let me play it again. Oh, I love that piece so much, I'm going to do it again. Take two. Press the right button. Take two. that was better. Take two. Then from the wonderful piece of music known only as You Got a Friend in Me, which I'm going to dedicate to my old friend Steve, who is sadly no longer with us. So, Steve, if you're listening in from the New Orleans of the other world, then I do hope you enjoyed that. I don't think anyone's ever played that kind of... That's not true. Aaron Shouse plays that on the organ too. If you haven't checked out Aaron's channel, go and check it out. We did a collaboration the other day. We did some Disney princess music ourselves, which was rather cool. We turned a very bizarre hymn into a kind of sort of Disney hymn, which was rather weird. Good fun nonetheless. I hope you've checked it out. Please do. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a piece of music history. If you were young in, I don't know, if you were young in, let's say, the 70s or the 80s, I'm guessing actually the 80s, I don't think this was around in the 70s, but certainly when I was learning to play the piano. So we're probably talking the late 70s, early 80s when I was learning to play the piano. And occasionally, if you went down to the music shop in Inverness, where I was born and brought up, there was a shop simply called The Music Shop. Very, very original name, I think. But nonetheless, at least you knew what you were getting when you went into The Music Shop. And upstairs in the music shop, certainly in its old location, they had all the sheet music. And I used to dig around looking for things that I thought I would like. And I spent any pocket money I had on music in those days, believe it or not. What do I spend it on now? I don't know. Gosh, I don't have any pocket money. Anyway, and there was a series of books, The Joy of, remember them, everybody? There was The Joy of the Beatles, The Joy of Ragtime, The Joy of Disney, The Joy of Tosh. There was the joy of everything. There was a joy of whatever. If there was a kind of music out there, it was called the joy of classicals. And, you know, very simply arranged stuff, but nonetheless, it was great fun because it gave you the chance to play your favorite music from around the world in a very simple fashion. And not only that, these books, certainly the ones for popular music, they had something called chord symbols. And I remember these books were my first introduction to the world of chord symbols. And I didn't know what chord symbols were. So I had to ask my Uncle George, my great Uncle George, and he helped me out with things like that. And he taught me what chords were and how to put chords to music at a very, very early age, I imagine. Anyway, and I used to love playing these kinds of tunes. I don't think I had this one, the Joy of Disney book. I wish I did, because here it is. This is the first one in the book, and it's so wonderful. From Cinderella. It says, actually, by the way, you're supposed to play it in a schottische style. bibbidi bobbidi boo. For some reason my fingers didn't want to do that one. I do apologise. Now, we mentioned the Sherman Brothers earlier. And one of the first Sherman Brother films for Disney was, who wants to know? It was Mary Poppins. And there's all sorts of wonderful music from the world of Mary Poppins. Here, two of my favourites. Just and one of my favourite tunes from all the Disney films ever, "Feed the Birds." It's so I've always loved that tune. It's the rest of the film was a bit sort of, but I don't know, there's something about "Feed the Birds" that just always sort of, I thought, oh, that's such a lovely, lovely, lovely piece of music, and it was a very nice moment in the film as well. I just loved that. I always thought that was good fun. Always good fun. Now, the Shermans were, of course, most famous for possibly the most famous Disney music of it all. Certainly if you're into your jazzy stuff. And later in the 60s, the Disney company decided, and actually it was a rather weird thing they did. From the animation side of things, they took a step back. And they actually went down to sort of, they went to sort of really sort of bad quality. They reduced the quality of the animation. But for that, they decided, well, we're going to save money on the animation, so we'd better pull out all the stops. Haha, good pun there if you're an organist. Pull out all the stops and really go for it in the musical side of things. So they overdid the music big time. Thank you, by the way, on the way past to my friend Morton for your ticket this evening. Thank you very much indeed. And Ian as well. Thank you, Ian. Ian actually wrote something very, very clever here in his comment. A contribution to copyright claims from a Mr. Disney or anyone who has 2 of the notes from a Disney tune on one of their records. I think they own them. Yes, that's true. Pretty much everything I'm playing tonight will be copyright claimed. But quite rightly so, because most of the composers, if they're not still alive, they were alive within the last 70 years. So everything will probably be copyright claimed tonight, which means, of course, YouTube won't be paying anything tonight. Who's this? Steve. Thank you very much indeed. Ooh, yes. Now, there's a request from Steve as well. That, yes, I think some of that will definitely be coming later. Worry thy not. Right, exciting stuff. Right, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Anyway, yes. Now, the jazzy music, of course, it had to sort of take over. The music had to be better than the animation, so they had to dig around. And they tried to find some of the most famous musicians of the day. And they managed to find 2. And those 2 musicians went on to just basically make the film. If it wasn't for Phil Harris and Louis Prima, the film probably wouldn't have been the same, and it would certainly not have been as good as it was, and it certainly wouldn't have won the Oscars it did. Phil Harris was, of course, the voice of Baloo the bear, and Louis Prima was the voice of King Louis. Louis Prima, for those who don't remember who Louis Prima was. Louis Prima, another guy, another Louis from New Orleans originally, not Louis Armstrong, but Louis Prima. He was from the Italian side of things. He was from an old Italian family, Louis Prima, with a name like Prima. Anyway, and Louis Prima was almost single-handedly responsible for starting the music craze in Las Vegas. If it wasn't for Louis Prima, nothing like the Rat Pack, the Dean Martins, the Frank Sinatras of this world, none of them would have been anything. They all started because Louis Prima got them involved. Now, Louis Prima himself died rather sadly with it. He had all sorts of horrendous, there was brain tumor issues and things like that, and he just died a paralyzed man. Pretty much the same fate that went to Jackie Wilson, pioneer of Motown music. Jackie Wilson died of something very similar. The only thing that stopped Louis Prima becoming the world-famous guy that everyone else around him did was he was petrified of flying. And he never left the United States, which is a bit of a shame. If he traveled internationally, Louis Prima would have been, oh my goodness, the biggest thing since sliced bread. He was the highest paid entertainer of all time during his lifetime. More than Elvis, more than Frank Sinatra. Unbelievable. Louis Prima was the one. If you don't know who we're talking about, Louis Prima, buonasera, signorina, buonasera, all that kind of stuff. That was Louis Prima. I'm not going to go into Louis Prima, that's a different story altogether. But wonderful stuff indeed. However, he was the voice of King Louis in The Jungle Book. The most famous song, of course, from The Jungle Book was Look for the... From the Jungle Book there. Phil Harris and Louis Prima doing their thing. Who dis? Jan, thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you. Oh, I think we've missed a couple there. Gerald. Did we get Gerald? I don't think we got Gerald. Did we get Simon? I don't think we got Simon. We didn't get Jez either. Look at all this. There's tickets here everywhere. We didn't get... so Dominic was the last one we mentioned. Yes, Jez, Simon. We got Ian. And now that's Gerald. And now Jan. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, PayPal lumps all these things together in one email. It's very confusing. I do apologize. There we are. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Very kind of you all. Same here. Yes, same here. Perfect. Oh, gosh, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Now, let me have a little look in my list here and see what we've got. Oh, yes. I think we have to have this one. Shall we have a dance, ladies and gentlemen? Let's dance. See if you recognize this one. We need to make this one sound a little French. Let's see what we can do. Can I have a... I don't have a tremulant for my little accordion here, but I'm sure I can do something to it. Let me see what I can do. It's about as French as you can get a German organ to sound. It sounds pretty good, actually, doesn't it? Theoretically, of course, that is actually the same kind of reed that you would actually find on an accordion, believe it or not. Rather exciting stuff nonetheless. Right, that was from Beauty and the Beast. Be Our Guest. I think that one was called, wasn't it? Yes, indeed it was. Right, now what's this? Let's see if we can find where this one actually starts. I think, yeah, that's the end of it. So, was that? No, it's not the end of it, is it? I think it starts around here. Back then to Elton and Tim doing their thing, and let's jazz about a little bit more. Variations on Hakuna Matata, which is a very bizarre thing. I love the jazzy ones, as you may have noticed. I'm not into the modern cheesy ones so much. This is one of my favorites though, because it just, wouldn't you just love to go out of an evening with this character? One, two, 1, 2, 3. A very quick Cruella de Vil on the way past, which I think is wonderful. I love anything by the Dalmatians. Now, we started out with A Whole New World, which was, that was Aladdin, wasn't it? A Whole New World. I think that was. This is all Aladdin here in this book. There's an enormous book full of a million tunes. We had that, didn't we? What's that? That's a nice one, but we're not going to have it. Nor are we going to have that. Nor are we going to have that. Sorry, I'm looking for something, and it should be in my list. And it's not. Why isn't it in my... That's not it either. That's definitely not it. I guess I'm going to have to go and find the the beginning of this again. Ah, there we are. There it is. Everything we've had so far this evening, ladies and gentlemen, has been on land, or at least above the surface. However, we could dip down under the water and see what we could find. Under the sea, as it were. Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. Wonderful fun stuff. It should really be Harry Belafonte singing that, shouldn't it? The late Harry Belafonte. Wonderful stuff. It's getting late, ladies and gentlemen. I just noticed that. And we have to sort of move on a little bit. Now, there was an awful lot of other sort of cheesy things I was going to be doing, but I don't think I'm going to anymore. I don't think so. That's the thing with Disney music. There's so much. It's impossible to know where to start, where to stop, what to include, what not to include, and you know, where to call it a day. There's just so much. That was not expected. I didn't think this was in the book. There's one I'm looking for, and I thought it was very easy to find in the book. There it is. Yes. One of my favorites of all. Hold on, a couple of tickets have arrived since we played there. Who dis? Nancy, thank you very much. Chicago, Chicago. Philip, thank you very much as well. Very kind of you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Very kind. Let me just very quickly dig over here and see what we can find. Just make sure I'm... Oh, yes, we have a cup of something from our friend Yellowbird. Thank you very much. A cup of tea from our friend Yellowbird. Oh, now, talking of things, ladies and gentlemen, very important. Remember a few months ago, we were talking about branching out into other worlds of, what's the word I'm looking for? Social media. And we decided against things like Facebook, Instagram, and all that kind of things, because let's face it, there's too much weirdness in the world. So we have finally found something, and we are very privileged to be one of the first private individuals in Germany to have been given this. This is rather exciting. A WhatsApp channel. Now, WhatsApp, some of you have it on your mobile phones. Quite a lot of you will have it on your mobile phones. WhatsApp, like Instagram, like Facebook, it all belongs to that company called Meta. I don't know who Meta actually belongs to, but never mind. And we started up a WhatsApp group. Now, this is going to be so that I can broadcast messages to you. The wonderful thing about the WhatsApp channel is it's anonymous, all right? So there's none of that weird stuff going on in the background where people can get up to all sorts of nonsense and things like that. I post stuff there, you get to see it, you get to react to it with thumbs up and other emojis, and that's it. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else to it. And we are very lucky, and we are, like I say, one of the first. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's my list, okay? There's the link, sorry, to it there. And it's a simple sort of little broadcasting service. Now, of course, there are people in the world who are against this kind of thing. And if you are against it, then just shut up and let the rest of us get on with it. People are against Facebook, they're against Instagram, they're against TikTok, they're against, I don't know what all these other things are called, and that's fine, that's your personal thing. We have been looking for a social media means to get in touch with our gang members outside YouTube for a long time now, and we've been trying to find something that is the least invasive, and this is it. So if you don't like it, that's your decision, and you just keep your mouth quiet and get on with it. That's absolutely fine. We don't mind, okay? We get it. You don't like data, you don't like this, you don't like that. That's fine, that's your personal decision. However, a lot of people do, and here it is. So there you are, and here's the best thing, it's free. And it's anonymous. I don't know who you are in that group. That's the amazing thing, okay? I only posted this yesterday, in the video I posted yesterday. And we already have over 60 members in the channel already, which is rather exciting. So I don't know who you are. That's the wonderful thing about it. It's anonymous, completely anonymous. That makes life much easier, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. So there you are. That's it. We've got it. We're going to use it. If you want to join us, I would be very happy if you did join us. I won't know because it's anonymous, but nonetheless, it will be good fun. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you will consider joining it. It is anonymous, Mirabilos. It is anonymous because I don't know who you are. Unless you are in my actual personal contacts on my telephone, I don't know who's in the group. We've got over 60 people and only 5 of them are my private contacts from my telephone. It is anonymous, trust me. If you don't believe it is, keep it to yourself. And let's move on with some wonderful music. We're going, ladies and gentlemen, deep into the 100-acre wood where Christopher Robin plays. You'll find the enchanted neighborhood of Christopher's childhood days. A donkey named Eeyore is his friend, and Kanga and little Roo. There's Rabbit and Piglet, and there's Owl. but most of all, Winnie the Pooh. And this is one of my favorite little Disney songs of all time. Winnie the Pooh, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you love it when technology works and when technology doesn't work? It's supposed to turn pages for me, and it's not. Oh well, let's improvise. Winnie the Pooh and Tiggers. The wonderful thing about Tiggers. What is the wonderful thing about Tiggers? Tiggers are wonderful fun things, sorry. The tops are made out of rubber. The bottoms are made out of springs. That's naughty, isn't it? They're bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy. Gosh. Fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. Oh, well, there you are then. Tiggers, ladies and gentlemen, Tiggers. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting late, which means it's time to get ready to finish this evening's... where is it? I put all these things in my little list, and my little list and it's, where is it? That's that. We've done that one. We've done that one. Where is it? It's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's go back to my list over here. That's going to... There it is. There it is. It's late, folks, so we're going to have to wrap up Disney's, but not before we've had a look to see Monica. Thank you, Monica. That's very kind of you. Very generous. Thank you, Monica. And who dis? This is Michael. Thank you, Michael, as well. Very kind of you too. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Gosh, very exciting. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, did you notice we have a different wording this evening? I'm not calling it our virtual tickets anymore. We're deciding to say, show your appreciation and donate now. Or so, what does it say? Something like that. Anyway, fun nonetheless. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You're very kind. Without you and your continued generosity, none of this would be possible. The Gartshore Gang has been going now for a number of years, and slowly but surely, we're sort of trying to make this, what we're doing here, we're trying to make this our main source of income, believe it or not. And a few years ago, when, before viruses went around the world, it was kind of, well, not possible, not in my case, but it would have been possible one day if we kept going the way we were going. Excuse me, it would probably have been possible to cover, monthly costs with YouTube earnings. Now, YouTube meaning, when you click on YouTube, sometimes you see an advertisement, sometimes you don't, that kind of thing, yeah? Monetization. And, we may have been there one day, but then Corona came and just threw that away. So these days, nowadays, this is years later, we got monetized in 2019, I think it was, 4 years ago, and it hasn't increased in those 4 years. The clicks are, much more than they were, much more than they were 4 years ago, but sadly the AdSense revenue is a lot less than it used to be. So thanks to you and your virtual tickets, your donations, etc., this is great. This is keeping us going. And we're putting in the work, and we're getting there. We're coming up with new and exciting ideas, things to do. In December, when we're getting close to Christmas, we have got some very exciting things for you planned. We're going to be back out and about on the road visiting other exciting organs, and we will be doing our live concerts from other organs. Yes, it's going to be so exciting, ladies and gentlemen, and then hopefully in the new year that's going to be a continued theme, and we're going to get back out on the concert circuit, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! So if you're a concert organizer of organ concerts around parts of Europe, do get in touch, because we are taking dates for next year. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Well, folks, it's midnight, and we're going to have some more Randy Newman here. And this is just a very silly piece. It's the title from the wonderful film Monsters, Inc., Monsters Incorporated. And it's another Randy Newman wonderful number, an old jazzy number from days gone by. It's going to be fun. Join us again on Sunday night. Now, Sunday is not the final Sunday of the month, so it won't be our hymns from around the world on Sunday. On Sunday night, we're going to have an interesting mix of music from around the world. So join us again on Sunday for our live stream. Please do. We look forward to seeing you there in the chat. And in the background, clicking away. Lots of clicks this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and not all that many, about 140 to 150 people in the chat. Pretty good, all very exciting. So yeah, we're getting there. I like it. Let's have some diminished chords, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.